I might have to just stay in this room. Oh, we're live.
Good.
We're live. We're live.
All right, we made it. We
All
made
right.
some technical difficulties.
Dude, another Friday. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I'm amped up. It's going to be a good one today, actually. I'm excited for this one.
So let's give you information. So I've known Darlene for, I think we met, she might quote me on a different date. I think it was 1998, but I met her sister. She has a twin sister first. And her twin sister was dating the owner of this club named Tony Theodore, who was my boss. And one night, Carol came, and Tony's like, "Oh, you gotta meet this girl, Carol." And I'm like, "Okay." And then all of a sudden, Darlene walks up the next day, and I was like, "They seem different. What's different about it?" Like, she ignored me, and then I realized they were twins.
Oh, wow. Have you seen I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry?
What is it? Yeah.
When you said that was the first thing that popped in my mind. Like you playing basketball in the city.
It's a little different of that, but yeah. Let's bring her in. She's awesome. She's a mother. She's dynamite. She's just a super, super duper person. I've known her for 20 years, and she's just a doll of a person. So let's bring her in and have a chat.
There she is.
Hey guys, how are you? Hey Mike, how are you?
What's going on? Sorry, I don't know what happened with my internet was playing up.
As long as I was on time, I'm good.
You are good. So look, we want to bring you on the show. But the reason I want to bring you on the show, this is a fun show. It's about inspiration. It's about motivation. It's about helping people. And you're just we've known each other 20 years, and you've just been through hell and back.
22 years, actually.
22. There you go. See, I said, there you go. I said she'd probably quote me. I was wrong. But I don't want to talk about her story. She's going to talk about her story. But I'll give you a little bit of a background. I knew her when we first met in Miami. She's an author. She's a mother. She's just been all over the world. She's a philanthropist. She's just an incredible human being. So I know that a lot of people are going to get a lot of positivity from what she has to say today. So welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of you. You're doing such a great thing with motivational speaking, helping so many people out. It's a really good thing. I know it fulfills you when you actually could help people out. So I'm very proud.
Okay, so you just kick off wherever you want, and we're going to ask you if you just start from. So you moved here from Peru.
Yes,
you're a twin.
Yeah,
okay.
15 years old. 15 years old with $300 in my pocket, and just made it. Survive some way, somehow. You just learn how to survive, and then just worked hard. I think I had like 3 jobs at the beginning. I learned how to read, and I never finished my elementary when I lived in Peru. So I learned how to read and write in Spanish and English on my own, believe it or not. So how I became an author is like a miracle of God that, I figure out now. I guess when you get older, you kind of start understanding who you are and what you want to be and who you want to be and stuff like that. But I realized that I'm a storyteller. I'm not so much of a writer. I think, yes, I write, but I'm a storyteller. So it's just been a great, amazing adventure. I have a beautiful daughter. She's in college, so she has accomplished and over-succeed me. That was my number one goal. My husband and I goal to have her be 1,000 times better than us, and she has accomplished that. She finished her first year of college. When the school corona didn't happen, so but yeah. So I know what it is to have a tough life, but I also know how to learn from them. I think that in life, if you can't learn from your mistakes or the bad things that happen in life, you just, why it's a waste of time. It's like the best school of life is life itself. So, you just have to learn from it.
Taylor?
100%. Yeah. A lot of times I think we can avoid those tough obstacles or those tough things that are in our way, and we try to find ways around them. But like you said, the best lessons are learned through approaching life in that sense, like going head first into that. It's incredible that you were able to learn both English and Spanish and to be able to write, and that you were able to come up to where you're at now through upbringing. That's awesome.
Well, it's funny because I was just having this conversation with my husband maybe a week ago, and I started thinking, well, when is it that, how did I learn how to read and write? I just have no clue. Like, I could really sit back and I try to think about my past and when did it start, how, and I just have no idea. I just know that I learned on my own. One thing I do remember is when I came to this country, I mean, I was born in LA, and then I moved to Peru, I guess 3 years old, 5 years, something like that. And then I do remember that, you know, when I came to this country, I put in my head that I would not speak to any Latin people. I would not be friends with anybody who didn't speak English. Because number one, I believe that when you come to somebody's country, even though I was born here, but I wasn't raised here, I think you have to adapt to their culture, not culture adapt to you. So I made it my goal that I need to speak English. So I watch a lot of TV. I will go to the mall and ask things with my broken English and try to figure out how you ask for Coke, how you Coca-Cola, you know, how you ask, how you ask for pizza and stuff like that. So, you know, I guess that when you really want it, you know, it's not like you really, I guess I didn't have a choice. It's not like you, oh, I'm going to put it in my head that I'm going to succeed in life. No, I mean, you just go to survivor mode, you know?
Darlene, I have a question. So I've known you really a long time and you've suffered a lot of stuff. You've gone through hell and back. So, you know, when we were in New York, you were like, I mean, if you want to talk about it, you and your sister became like the millennial playmates, which put you into this you were massive. You were dating Mike Piazza. You were dating Mike Piazza.
Yeah.
and the Mets were like the biggest team in the world at the time. Here you are. The Mets, right? It was huge. And then here you are, you get the millennial twin, and you and your sister become these millennial twins. And then, so explain that process. Like, because I knew from Miami, and then all of a sudden you guys are the millennial twins on the Playmates. How does this happen? For someone that's trying to understand it, that's just tuning in.
Well, you know, the Playboy thing came out. To be honest, I've never been into the, you know me, Mike. I've never been into the limelight or attention or none of that stuff. So when it came into I'm going to speak for myself. When it came to my life, it came in a moment that was, I needed it. I didn't have a choice, you know. Number one, the shyest. I mean, I'm very outgoing, but I'm so shy. I'm not about, I don't know, I'm very, especially with my body, and I think it has to do because I was raped as a child. So for me, I was very subconscious about showing my body and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I had like hundreds of thousands of dollars on medical bills because I had just learned how to walk. You remember that, Mike? When I had just learned. Huh?
Can you go? Yeah. Sorry about that. Could you go and just tell people, because you went through, I didn't want to bring it up. You went through this crazy accident where you were like destroyed, literally destroyed.
Exactly.
That's what I mean.
I met Mike, we became friends, and then I left. I think I left to Peru, and when I got back, I was supposed to get married, and I was going into Iowa. My fiance was from Iowa, and then the day before our wedding, we got into a car accident. I'm sorry, and he passed away, and I survived, but I was paralyzed. So, you know, I was in the hospital for like 3 months trying to recuperate. Thank God I was able. I learned how to walk again and all that. So in that process is when Playboy started, that it was the most ironic thing in the world. And when my sister, when they did this big tour all over the world and everywhere, you know, for the Millennium Playmate, and it happened, the last city was Miami, and they had that big party in Chaos in my sister's ex-husband's nightclub. So that's where they saw my sister, and they said, "Oh my God, why didn't you go and try with all these hundreds of girls?" And my sister, you know, she's a little bit, you know, out there, so she's like, "Nah, I'm not going to lie," you know. So then, so she was like, "I'm not going to keep a line with 300 women in there, whatever." So they offer her to do a one-on-one with the senior editor of Playboy. And my sister walked into the meeting, and the lady, her name was Marilyn Gorowski, said, "Oh, I'm going to make you rich and famous." But then they said, "Well," and my sister said, "Oh, well, I have an identical twin sister." It was crazy. But I was just learning how to walk, you know, and I was just learning how to walk again. So they actually waited for me to get better, you know, just for the chance for me to do it. And now you have to understand, I had surgeries for my accident, my breast, and my hand was destroyed. I had like missing a gap in my face. I was completely trust me, I was not photo shoot ready. Put it. So then, by the time I looked at my bills. Put it this way: imagine being in the hospital for 3 months and stuff like that. It's just the bills, you could only imagine how bad they were. So there was a good opportunity for me to to pay my bills, and they were very patient, very kind. They helped me with some of the surgeries that I had to go through. They waited till I learned how to walk, and yeah, the rest is history. That's how we became playmates. So. But it's not, I mean, listen, more power to her. I'm very honored to have had such an important and one of the only titles there is out there from Playboy, but that doesn't determine me. That's not even close to who I am or anything. No disrespect in that aspect, just that's not who I am, or.
Yeah, no, sorry, Tal, I'm going to give you a question. The reason I wanted you to bring that up is because I know your history, and I think for anyone watching or listening, they're going to be inspired, not realizing you suffered so much trauma when I met you, then turned it around in a couple of years, learned to walk again. You've come from nowhere in Peru. You learned to speak. You've come to another country. You've succeeded. And then you're such a great inspiration and role models for young women who have been abused, who have gone through tragic accidents. People don't even get that much. So you know what I mean? That's why I wanted you to, people are going to be really inspired by this. Taylor?
Well, it's especially like when you have dealt with abuse and rape and molestation, it's very hard to like, hey, look at me naked now. It's kind of like, but I learned how to separate that, because at the end of the day, not because I did that. I guess the one thing that I always struggle with my life and looking in the past is I can't being a I don't know what the word is when somebody, I can't believe I forgot this word. People believe in you. People really believe in you, that what your story is that happened, because you take a girl like me, if you see me, you think, what the hell does she has to worry about? She has a great life, a great kid, great husband. What can she worry about? Her life is perfect. But it's not like that. We all have to go through different suffering. We all go through different, especially victims of rape and molestation. There is so many out there. It's not even funny when I speak about that. I mean, I'm very close to a lot of people who has been through the same thing, and I try to guide them, but there's really no guide for somebody who has been through certain situations like that. We actually just learn how to live with it. There's no cure. There's not something that is going to come and take away all your pain or make you forget. The thing is that you learn how to live with it, and as long as you know that you can learn how to live with it, you can move forward in life. If you're stuck there, it's not going to work. And I'm a big believer that I won't let my past determine my future. So
it's awesome.
What have you done, or what did you do to find ways to live with it, and how do you help people with doing that? Like, what were some of your methods to doing that?
This is very unorthodox, but what I have done is, for me, is the injustice that I can't deal with. And I know that many people will say, don't do this because it's bitter, whatever the hell you want to think about. But for me, it worked for me, and I'm really happy. So what I did, I researched the people who had raped me and molested me. And what I made sure is, one of them actually came to me, weirdly enough, when my book got released, but it was kind of perfect, because I started acting like, like one of them was my stepfather. So then for me, I was like, oh, motherfucker, I'm going to get you so good here. I was already calling attorneys to see, okay, if I get him to speak and say that this happened, can I take him to jail? But obviously, limitations and all that stuff, I wasn't. So I figure out ways like, well, it's impossible. Why these people, nobody does anything to them, So what I did was, we had a conversation. I acted like, oh yes, oh my God, and all that stuff. And then I started pointing points of things, because I remember when the first time he molested me, I was maybe 6 years old. And I remember that the next day, this is like, for all the mothers out there kids act certain way and they don't know why. Well, maybe they have to sit down and ask questions to their children. I end up scratching the next day all the pictures in the house from his face. So then my mom came and instead of her saying, oh, why did you do that? He was very clever. He's like, oh, your daughters hate me. Look what they did. So I got my ass kicked instead of asking me, why did you do that? Because the night before he raped me. So, so what I did was I asked him, hey, do you remember that one time my mom beat me for no reason? That I was kind of like seeing because if he remembered, that mean that he knew what he did to me, or it was true. So he's like, yeah, your mom did that. I don't know why she would do that. And then I was like, oh, you know why she did this? Because that night you raped me. That night you did that. And I started with the detail. He's like, no, that's not true. He just fell into it. So being that I was not able to get him back or being able to take him to jail, I actually went and copied all of his friends on Facebook. All of them. I created a fake Facebook account. I don't recommend everybody to do it, but it worked perfectly for me. And I literally created like wanted pictures, and I put his face on it because I'm great doing digital stuff. And I put wanted, predator, child abuser, pedophile, any information. There's a big, what is it?
Search.
Yeah.
Wow. Reward.
Because I really was able to, I will get him back. So anyways, all his friends and everybody knows now that he's a child molester, and that's what I did. And I did that to every single person, like every other person who did that to me. I actually did cousins. I did the best one because a cousin of mine actually molested me. What I did to him where he lived, I hired a motorcycle and I got flyers to draw all over his neighborhood with his face on, to saying that he's a child predator. But that worked for me.
Wow. That got the job done.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if the government and people are not going to do anything, are they going to let these fuckers free? I mean, somebody has to teach these people a lesson that it's not going to go away because you just think that, oh, you did it to a child. She's not going to remember. No, we do remember. We do remember. And sooner or later, people are going to find out. So what I do, and I know I shouldn't say this because then I'm going to get in trouble, but I don't care. I do for some of the victims, I do the same things for them, actually. I actually go and send flyers for them, for people to actually go and send it to the neighborhoods. But you know what? Sue me.
Well, that's true. So, all right. So let's wow. Okay. So
I know you was unorthodox, so it's not like you're supposed to be doing things like this, but it made me feel like there was some justice.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
I'm sorry?
That's crazy.
Sen, you said you didn't recommend it, so you already gave the disclaimer, so you're good.
Well, listen, if you have, the thing is, I had to put in a balance. What are the repercussions? What is the pros and the cons? And I looked at it that the pros were way higher than the cons. And if I could maybe save somebody else from that, and if the people are aware, I don't know if these guys are with a girlfriend and the girlfriend has kids and she's blinded and stupidly in love with him and can't see or misses the signs of it. So, I think I'm contributing to humanity, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, you're empowering people. You know what? The only thing you had to do, you should have said, you have to do that thing. I'm not a doctor, and this is a disclaimer. This is my approach.
Well,
So
I don't have an MD under me, so everybody knows that. But at the end of the day, people have to do what makes them happy. And even though, again, it might sound like it's something like bitter or vengeance and all that, but at the same time, where's the justice for the victim? So,
Yeah. So basically, a couple of months ago, because we're back and forth, you're trying to put out some scripts and stuff, and we've been going back and forth. But recently, you got COVID-19, and you went on a trip because it's COVID now. So I'd like you to explain it. And I think a lot of people don't think it's real. And you were in, quote me if I'm wrong, I think you're in Denver. You went for your daughters for
it's not Memorial.
No, it was the other one.
Break? No.
What was it?
I don't remember. Well, but
it was in March.
My daughter was, and it was our vacation time, and we had to cancel. So the last minute, we decided to go to Vegas, and that's when we. That's the funny thing about it is that my daughter and I made sure that we were going to that nobody came into our bedroom, like the cleaning people. So we left a note outside, and then one day before they closed all the hotels, we come into our room, and they had cleaned our room. And the next day they announced that they're closing the hotel because some employees were sick. So then I drive, because I didn't want to get in the airplane because they cut our trip for like 4 days early or whatever. I drove home. By the time I get home and everything, 2 days later, I was sick in the hospital. But when I couldn't breathe. I was out of air. It was so bad. People don't understand how horrible this thing is. And when I get to the hospital, they didn't have any tests available, and they couldn't do anything for me. So they pretty much said, acted like if you got the virus, go home and quarantine. That's it.
So here's a question: do you feel
Mhm.
that, because there's a lot of people think it's a joke?
Mhm.
So I want you to explain two things. Do you feel if you were like suffering from a condition, like you already had a pre-existing condition, you would have got through it? And the second question is, how bad was it? Like, you went through it. I remember you left me a message, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Well, the how bad. I don't have any previous conditions to actually for me to get it. So that's why even traveling, because at the time it wasn't 100% sure that you were gonna get it. People were like still doing it. Was kind of like it was so mixed news and mixed information that we're like, oh, I'm just gonna go. But the truth is that anybody could get it. I got it. Then after I got it, a week after that, my husband got it, so he got the same symptoms. My daughter didn't get it, but I'm thinking that maybe also she had it months ago when she was in college. But it does feel like, I mean, literally, it feels like somebody's choking you because you can't breathe. You're constantly gasping for air. It hurts like like you're like always catching from breath, and you can't. I mean, you walk a little bit and you're like feel like you just ran a marathon. So it's not a joke. It really isn't. And I'm healthy. I'm a healthy person, but it's really anybody could get sick. I realize now everybody could get sick, and trust me, I don't go out as much. We don't do anything. We stay home and we try to avoid, because I mean, at the end of the day, we don't even know what's going to be the second repercussion for having this virus. Are you going to get worse at some point that you still have the virus? Would it eat your insides? I mean, it's so much to think about, but yeah, it's not a joke. Definitely not a joke.
Taylor?
I mean, how are you, like, I think a lot of people right now, myself included, just being in Orange County, it's over here, it looks like it's almost irrelevant again. Like, people just aren't worried about it. Mm-hmm. Whereas in so many other places, it's so relevant still, and so many people are still struggling with it. And it's now the second wave's happening.
Again.
It's starting to go up a little bit. And so it's, where are we at with that, right? And for you firsthand, I'm sure you're thinking, like, again, going through the life experience.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what to expect now. Like, I'm staying in. Like, I'm not anywhere.
Well, look what happened in Florida right now. It was in the news. I think got from one day to another, 3,600 or 3,300 cases in one day.
I did not see that.
Exactly. So it again, it's like people think that because you're young or you're not old or you're not you don't have any health issues and stuff like that you're gonna be fine. It's not like that. I mean, it definitely wasn't like that for me or my husband. It was just the contrary. We were like, I thought I was gonna die. I literally thought my husband carried me and was rushed me to the hospital in his arms. Please help. She can't breathe. And literally there was like, I think they give me just IV, and then they were like, sorry, we don't have any tests available.
Yeah.
And there's no cure anyway. So they're like, listen, even if we can't do anything about it. Even if we say, yes, you have the COVID, we can't do anything about it. Unless you're like one step from dying, then we put you inside. Literally because of my age, because I was young and didn't have any predisposition for any health, they'll send you back home. They're just giving space for the people who are really old or have some whatever. They figure that, well, listen, you'll survive. I mean, I did, but you don't know that at the moment. You're scared as shit, Right.
Yeah, no, you're just like not sure what's happening. That's crazy. And that's like a fight or flight mode almost, like, but how do you cope with that, like, in the moment when you feel like you're about to die? Like,
right. I mean, the funny thing about it is that even when I was driving home from Nevada, I started feeling like not gasping for it, but like, when you sigh a lot, and then I'm thinking, okay, all right, Darlene, calm down. You're having a panic attack, because I thought, like, I guess I was so stressed out that, oh my God, I need to get home, because what if they told us, we went to the airport and they said they're closing the airport, that they never did, but they told us that day they were going to close it. So it was either we catch the last flight or I drive. Honestly, I said, why would I get sick in an airplane? No, I'm going to drive. And then by the time I was really feeling that I was sighing, and I thought I was maybe getting paranoid and stuff like that. So I'm like, no, calm down. By the time I get home, I'm going to feel better. And I'm not just paranoid. It never went away. That shit was like worse. And then I couldn't breathe. I went from one thing to like another.
So just like kind of out of where just like you just started experiencing it.
Oh yeah, no. Well, but I don't know if I was feeling it already, if I was paranoid, or if it was that once I got here 2 days later is when I really got sick. So it's just I guess you feel like you're getting sick, and your body's telling you, oh my God, you need to make it home because you're gonna get really sick very soon. So, but thank God I made it home 2 days later. I was in the hospital, but again, they didn't do anything about it. And understand me, I'm not like criticizing them. There was no test, And other people needed it more than me, I'm assuming so.
All right, so Darlene, you've had this epic life. You're still young, and you've got you're young. You've got these incredible things. You got this book, and now is the book that you have in English or just in Spanish?
It's in Spanish only. Was published in Latin America, and but now like I was saying, I'm doing my because I have ADD, HDD, OCD, all these fucking DDs and stuff like that. I love things to get done like there, the moment. So I really enjoying, and I've been working on writing scripts for the past maybe 5 years maybe. So now I'm actually moving forward with that, and getting things moving. I actually meeting, knock on wood, hopefully I'm waiting for a call to go to LA. I'm going to be in LA for meeting an agent that I have to, negotiate some couple things. So I'm actually excited. I love this part of my life right now where I'm not a mom. Not that I'm not a mom, but I'm not I've been always, thank God, I've been very lucky to be able to raise my daughter and be a mother for so many years. But I'm also enjoying my moment now that I actually are focusing on me and doing the things that I always wanted to do, and actually put 1000% of my focus on it. So
5 years from now, where do you want to be?
Exactly where I am today, but just successful on my scripts. Personally, I'm in the best place I could be in my life. Like I really am very happy. I'm really, a lot of amazing things are happening personally with my family that I'm very happy about. But in 5 years from now, I wouldn't change that. The only thing I guess that would change is just my professional life that just move a little forward. I mean, it's been taking many years because obviously all this crap takes forever. But the longer it's taking, the better I'm getting and the more motivated I get. So I know for a fact this year is going to be definitely one of the best years of my life, work-wise.
Taylor?
Are you asking me? 5 years or?
Yeah. No. I mean, we know each other so well, so I'm just like, you ask away.
No. I was like, you already know my 5 year. Yeah. So Darlene, I mean, tell me about what are a few things that anybody who's watching, what are some things that they can maybe implement or practice to create their own sort of unbreakable mindset? Quote Mike Diamond right there, unbreakable mindset. But what are some things that you do or that you could leave with anybody watching to help them out with that?
I think the worst enemy for every person is themselves. I mean, I think that sometimes I think I'm gonna go crazy because I talk to myself. But when I do have a bad moment or I'm struggling with something, I really say, Darlene, stop it, being positive. And that's, I mean, pretty much that I think when you control yourself and your thoughts and in the moments that has been bad and turn it into something positive. I have a friend of mine, my writing partner. She her name is Kelly, and she is the most amazing person. Has been through a lot of things in her life, and she's also like I said, she's a writer, but she's learning how to do motion pictures and stuff like that. She's actually really an amazing writer, and I tell her all the time is like, dude, we have fucked up things in our life for a reason, so we can make movies out of them. There has to be a reason why you go through something, even if it is painful. I mean, there's a way to twist it and change it into something that is going to be positive. Even if it was sucky for us, maybe it could be something positive for somebody else. So, I think writing is an amazing tool for anybody. Put your thoughts there. If you want to scream, cry, whatever, write it down. Put your emotions into it. And if you feel great about it, send it to the person who deserves it. And not, just keep it to yourself, burn it away. But definitely talking to yourself and making yourself reassure yourself that you're going to be okay, that you could go through anything and be strong is, the best thing I think. I mean, the best thing that I have, and a good And listen, sometimes you don't have a good support system, but if you do have a good support system, it's even better.
I have one question. Because someone asked me this question in a podcast and I liked it. Would you change? I would never change my past now because it's made me who I am. It's made me more resilient. It's given me forward thinking. It's made me more determined, and I just can't get broken. I just don't give a shit. Is there anything you would change from your past that happened, or now that it's happened and reflecting back, you just go, I've moved forward and it's made me who I am?
Oh, I will never change one thing. I keep on telling my daughter all the time. I said, listen, if I have to get raped, beaten, and everything all over again, I will do it in a heartbeat because I got my daughter, you know. And listen, and I saved my daughter because of the things that I did. I was able to teach my daughter how to save herself, to be able to be secured in the world, to be able to not let anybody abuse her or mistreat her. So how can we put a price on that? That's, you know, I'm like, I will never. I'm always been. It's all about my family. So for me, as long as I think about it. I have a great life right now because of the things that I have been through. So if I take that away, then I wouldn't have the life that I have right now. So it served its purpose, even as sucky as it if you think about it, but it's a reason why you had to go through those things, you know?
Absolutely. Taylor, you want to lead us last question before we let Darlene go?
Yeah. So moving forward, I mean, so you kind of gave the 5-year plan, but with things with your book, do you have any intention of translating that into an English version and trying to continue creating, you said movies, but trying to continue expanding on all media fronts?
Well, I have a 3-book deal with the publishing company in Latin America, and they've been, I mean, I wrote maybe 3-4 years ago. I wrote my book, and then been like, come on, when is the next one? But not that I don't want to. I know that's in the plans. I know I have to do it, but I think that it takes a special mindset to be able to finish certain things, especially when they're so personal. So I'm not there yet. I was there for the first part. I'm not emotionally there for the second part. When I am, I will do it, but that's not what I want to do. Books is not what I want to do. I mean, if it comes around, I'll do it, but not that that's what I want to do. I just want to do screenplays.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I cannot, I mean, I'll be honest with you. We had Savannah come on, who I didn't really know, but I've known you 20 years. We've had 2 incredible female guests that have set the bar so high with epicness that I'm not sure what to do after this, because like I just gave you a few leads in. I didn't expect you to come with so much fire. I mean, it's called Friday Fire, but the barn is burning. And I'm just like, oh my God, I cannot thank you enough.
Thank you for thinking.
Anyone wants to reach you, where do they reach you on social media, or how do they reach you?
I'm doing my Instagram is like Darlene Mahoney, I think, or something like that. I'm not really, I mean, it's you know, I'll you know,
we'll post it. That's great. I don't know who I am or where it is. But it's up there.
But yeah, I guess there. But yeah, Darlene Mahoney. I'm there somewhere in the Instagram, Facebook, and stuff like that.
Perfect. And yeah, that just thank you so much. I love you to pieces. We've been friends for 22 years, and I can't thank you enough for coming on.
No, I appreciate it. I think you guys are doing a wonderful thing, helping people out, and stories. The funny thing about it is the stories, like any of us, our stories does help somehow when somebody else listens to it. So I think you guys are doing a wonderful thing, and thank you so much for thinking of me.
Of course.
Thank you. And thank you everybody who's been watching. We appreciate you too.
Oh, nice seeing you guys.
Bye, honey.
Bye.
Bye. Taylor.